Buckeye Stoves, Page One Group, Papa John's, and of course, our title sponsor, Griffin Insurance. Now join us in the WMVO studio live on air and streaming with video on Facebook and YouTube.
Welcome in to the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show here on WMVO, brought to you by our title sponsor, Griffin Insurance, as well as Buckeye Stoves, Papa John's of Mount Vernon, and Page One Group. And we have Fredericktown Track and Field in here with us today. How are you guys doing?
Great. Pretty good. Yep.
It's great to have you all in here. We're going to start with some introductions, of course. We have a voice you may recognize from some of our football broadcasts in here. We have Coach Will Hartley. How are you doing?
Good. Good to see you tonight.
Great to have you in here. We also have Nolan Bender and Caleb Smith in here. And let's start out with just some basic introductions, starting with Coach. How long have you been coaching here at Fredericktown?
Well, this is my 23rd or 24th year with the program. And, boy, I've kind of lost track of how many years I've been the head coach. I'd say at least 15 or 16 years as the head coach. So, yeah, it's been a while.
And let's jump over to the players here. How long have you guys been doing track and field?
Yeah, I've done it since 7th grade in middle school, so about 6 years now.
Yeah, I've done it the same amount of time as he.
Nice.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Are they called events, the different races and stuff?
Yep.
All right. What events do you guys do?
Yeah, so I do middle distance, so that can go anywhere from a 400-meter dash to the 1,600-meter relay.
I do a lot of everything. So I do hurdles as my main event, but I can sprint and I do some distance too. So
you're pretty versatile with it then, huh?
Yeah.
And with that, do you guys change the event you do? If you're this versatile year to year, or do you change it event to event, or is it just whatever the team's needing from you that week?
Well, really, it depends, like you said, what the team needs. But I try to pick one event, specifically the 800, the past couple of years, and really focus on that to improve.
For me, I've been focusing more on hurdles. So my first 2 years, it was more of like 800 and the mile, but now I'm focusing on the 300-meter hurdles. But if any coach needs to put me into an event, I'll be willing to take that.
Well, that's good to hear. It's always great to have an athlete who will do what's needed for the team. So that's pretty sweet. And Coach, what all events does Fredericktown participate in? Is it everything that track and field offers? Because that's a pretty wide range of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually pretty fortunate. We usually have really good numbers, and we do this year. I think the girls are around 60 athletes, and then the boys were between 30. We still got some kids that are on the basketball team, so they haven't joined the team yet. So when they start practice, we should be close to 40, between like 35 and 40 kids. So we're able to fill out all of our events. So our throws, the field events, which include the high jump and the long jump and pole vault. And as I said, the throws, the shot and the disc. Our distance group is always really solid. And then, again, when a lot of the guys that play basketball, they're kind of the core of the sprint group. So we're pretty fortunate. We're also fortunate because we have a really nice staff. Our full-time coaches, we have 4 full-time coaches for the program, but we have very, very knowledgeable volunteers, and they fill in. Like, we always have really good jumps coaches, especially our pole vault coaches have been really good. This year's going to be a kid that was a former jumper for us. Our throws coach, Dave Rashley, does a great job with the throws. So we're able to fill in between our full-time staff and volunteers so that we're able to cover all of the events.
Yeah, it seems like you guys aren't just playing the events, but you're actually able to properly coach and train kids on a per event or at least per category section with how much staffing you guys have.
Yeah, there's still some loose ends. We always struggle to like the long jump, for example, is an area that we're a little weak in. And then also it's we got, now with the boys this year, we got a nice group of hurdlers, but we don't have a coach that's specifically dedicated to coaching the hurdles. So that's also an area that we're just a little weak as far as getting that coverage that from one day to the next that maybe we need.
And, it'll probably vary from event to event, but how many athletes can you have running in one event?
It depends. So if it is normally what's called an invitational. So the invitationals are multi team. These are large meets that are usually on Fridays or Saturdays. And those meets where you can have upwards of 10, 12 teams there, those are varsity only. So you get one relay team for each one of the relays. So like the 4x1, the 4x4, the 4x8. And then you also get 2 athletes that you can enter in each one of the events. So 2 hurdlers, 2 kids in the 800, 2 kids in the 400, et cetera, et cetera. Now then we have smaller meets during the week, usually on Tuesdays, Monday or Tuesday. Most of them are on Tuesdays. And those are usually quad meets where there's just 4 schools. And those ones, you're allowed to enter all of your athletes, and you're able to enter multiple relay teams. So you can have an A squad and a B squad. And that's an opportunity we run our varsity kids, but it's also an opportunity to get the younger kids some events, because a lot of times they kind of get left out because they're not in the top 2, especially if you're a freshman. It's very rare that freshmen are going to be performing at the level to be top 2 from one week to the next. So they usually don't get to compete on those Friday or Saturday larger invitationals.
Yeah, but at least getting to be part of that B team during those, you get a great chance for them to get some actual real-world race experience out there.
Yeah, and especially on the relays. It's important on the relays because the relays, especially the sprint relays like the 4x1 and the 4x2, where the handoffs, the timing on the handoffs is so key that it's nice to have younger guys trained up. So if you have an injury or something, you can just plug one of those kids in, and they kind of have an idea, and they've had experience as far as what their steps are and how to take a handoff and how to give a handoff.
And, with that, you've got a lot of athletes, and you've got plenty of, I'm sure, versatile athletes. Are there any events that are more popular than others?
Well, traditionally, our distance program is really good. Bob Geiger he's our cross-country coach, runs the entire cross-country program, and then he's the girls' head coach in track. But he's also the distance coach for everybody. So kind of the success with cross-country carries over into the spring with our distance program. So year in and year out, it's always a really solid program. Our sprints have been good from one year to the next, and we're always competitive. Our throws, as I said, Coach Rashley, he's been with the program. He's really built that program. That was an area where we were a little bit behind some of the other schools, but he's really built the numbers, and we've started to see more success and score more points in the throws. Another area that we're always really strong is in pole vault. And this year we got some really big shoes to fill because we lost Brandon Hogg last year, he set our school record, went to state, and he's having a great deal of success as a freshman at Ohio Northern. He actually won the D3 All-Ohio meet, which was down at Otterbein like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I mean, he actually won it as a freshman. So he's like gone from strength to strength, so he's not going to be there this year. We got some younger guys, both sophomores, that are going to be stepping in to pole vault. So it's going to be some new faces there.
Nice. And, we'll change gears a little bit, talk to the athletes again about a few things. You guys are still waiting on some athletes to come over from basketball since the boys Fredericktown team is still going strong in tournament play. Do you guys play any other sports throughout the year?
Yeah, so we both actually do cross country. That's about the only other sport we do, although it's a year-round training for that.
Yeah, so this winter I had the opportunity to run some indoor meets with Coach Hartley and just strengthen my hurdle drills and running some distance over the winter.
Well, great. How important for you both personally do you think staying in shape year-round is to have a strong start to your track season?
Personally speaking, I think it's pretty important to stay in shape, but it's also, you really need that rest time. Taking a month or 2 off between cross-country and track for me, it's really important so you're not overworking too much so you don't get burned out quick. But at the same time, you want to stay in shape so you don't lose your progress.
And similar for you, Nolan?
For me, I've been, since middle school, I've had an Achilles problem. It's toned down the past 3 years. But for me, it's always like making sure that doesn't get re-aggravated. and preventing any other injuries. So taking the time that's needed to just get my body back to proper health. And to stay in shape is really important, especially with distance, because take a couple weeks off and you can lose a ton of time. And sprinting too, because your legs can become sore again, and it just makes it harder on you.
Yeah, and Coach, do you share that thought? Staying in shape year round, super important, but you don't want kids to overwork themselves, especially not to the point of injury.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. It's a balance. You want kids to have a relatively good base coming into the season, but there's also that fear of overtraining. And overtraining, if you train too much and you get into April, you start to see a little bit of burnout, and that can be a detriment also. So it's kind of a balance between the two. You want kids to have that good base, but you don't want them overtraining where potentially they're just going to be burned out by the time they get into the middle of the season in the middle of April, and you don't want to see that.
Yeah, you guys gave some really great answers for that. We're going to go ahead, take our first break of the show, come back, continue talking here with Fredericktown Track and Field here on the Monday Night Sports Talk Show, not AM Knox County, on WMVO.
Is brought to you by
Knox County Veteran Services, located at 105 East Chestnut Street, Mount Vernon. Stop in and see us today.
It's 7:17 and 31 degrees.
Whether it's your home, farm, auto, business, RV, or boat, Griffin Insurance has you covered. Located at 300 Coshocton Avenue in Mount Vernon, we've been protecting what matters most to Knox County for decades. Call 740-397-7488 today and experience the trusted local service you deserve. Griffin Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you know.
That pallet of pavers collecting dust? The beginnings of a garden? Those stray fence posts? Are you haunted by half-finished projects on your land? John Deere is here to say, not anymore. Our compact tractors allow you to swap implements easily, and they're backed by the nation's largest dealer network. You always had the right idea, and with the right tools, those projects can get finished for good. Nothing runs like a Deere. Learn more at johndeere.com/compact tractors.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When you're craving better ingredients and better pizza, Papa John's on Coshocton Avenue delivers. Locally owned by Bill Spitzer, Papa John's is feeding Mount Vernon fresh hot pizza, wings, and those irresistible garlic butter breadsticks. Order tonight from 855 Coshocton Avenue or call 740-397-6644. Carry out, delivery, or order ahead online. Papa John's, locally owned, big flavor, right here in Mount Vernon. 740-397-6644. That's Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Page One Group in beautiful Mount Vernon has your best interest in mind when it comes to you and your printing needs. Whether it's printing, design, laser engraving, or sublimation, there isn't a texture we can't print on. Promotional products are how you keep people coming back, and that's where we come in. Your business is our business. Page One Group, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Call 740-397-0262 and visit us on Scott Road.
When someone hears the words, "You have cancer," it's one of the darkest moments in their life. Light the Night brings light to the darkness of cancer by uniting survivors, patients, and supporters in the cause to end cancer. Friends, families, and coworkers form a community of hope, raising funds in support of the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Together, we walk with lanterns held high to light the path to cures. Last year alone, the FDA approved 18 new drug therapies and treatments to treat blood cancers. The impact of LLS-supported research goes beyond blood cancer. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. When we walk, cancer runs. Join the movement to end cancer today. Visit us at lightthenight.org.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves. It's not too late to purchase a pellet stove and get a free ton of pellets for the winter season. Harmon offers top-of-the-line pellet stoves like the infamous P68. Also, if you have a chimney and need a suite, we do that too. We use nothing but the best with Copperfield products like HomeSaver, Rovac, and DuraVent to allow your chimney to remain safe, clean, and durable. Stop by our showroom, Buckeye Stoves, on State Route 95 in Fredericktown. Visit us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
WMVO Weather Center forecast.
It's currently 32 degrees with a few clouds. The wind chill 24 degrees. The wind is from the east at 9 miles per hour. The forecast for this evening, cloudy with light wind with a chance of light snow. Temp 33 degrees. Overnight, cloud-filled skies with a light breeze, and we could see some light snow. Temperature 34. And then tomorrow, cloudy with some wind. Rain is likely. And the temp 45. That's Storm Track weather on the heart of Knox County. WMVO.
Time and temperature is brought to you by
Knox County Veteran Services, located.
We are back here on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show on WMVO. And that is brought to you, of course, by our title sponsor, Griffin Insurance, as well as Papa John's of Mount Vernon, Page One Group, and Buckeye Stoves. We have Coach Will Hartley here from Fredericktown Track and Field, as well as Nolan Bender and Caleb Smith. I hope you guys are all still doing well after the break. And we're going to jump back into it. And, Coach, you gave me some really important news for this season before we actually jumped on the show. Let's go ahead and talk about the construction happening with your guys' track and field.
Yeah, so right now, Fredericktown Stadium's under a big renovation project, total redo of the football field, and then a new fence around the perimeter of the track, and then eventually a new track as well. So that's great for the school. It's great for the for all the teams' track and for the football program as well in the long term. Now in the short term, all of our meets, because it's under such construction, we're able to practice there, but we're not going to be able to hold any meets there. So our entire season, both high school and middle school, is going to be on the road this year, to include our invitational, which we're still going to have our invitational, and Highland's been gracious enough to host the invitational, but it will still be tagged as the Fredericktown Invitational. So those are going to be a few little logistical hurdles as far as busing and things of that nature. But yeah, all of our meets this year are going to be on the road. We're going to be we've kind of branded it like the Fredericktown Track Tour, coming to a town near you.
Well, that'll be fun. At least that's a nice spin on it. We'll just ask the players here. Do you guys think not being at your home stadium throughout the whole year is going to have any sort of effect on how you run, or will it be more or less the same?
I think physically it'll be about the same. A track's a track, but mentally it's a little hard, I'd say, because I really wanted, as a senior, that last race on my home track where I could just leave it all there. But I can race on any track, so still be a good season, I think.
Yeah, what he said, it's not the best. I mean, it would have to happen to any senior, no matter what year. It's just tough that it's our year. But I'm bummed out because I wanted my family to be able to come to the home meet and watch just the school, all the students and teachers, to be able to come out and just watch the athletes that they teach and hang out with. And it also, it's not the greatest because our cross-country season, the dam that we run at, Kokosing Dam was getting redone by construction there, so we couldn't have a home meet there. So it kind of sucks that
it's both
back
of
to
them
back.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is rough. You're both seniors here. Let's talk some about your guys' future plans, if you don't mind sharing. And do they involve any track and field?
Unfortunately, I will probably not be continuing running. Not for college, anyways. Maybe personally, but yeah, I'm hoping to go to college and eventually go to med school. It's the dream.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, I would like to see running in my future. I am applying to Ohio State, but I'm not going to run at Ohio State. But the school I would run at would be Asbury University. And I have a meeting set up with a coach in a few weeks from there. But his brother actually goes to Asbury too.
Yep.
So we're really good friends. And just being able to keep doing what I'm doing in high school all the way through, get better at it, and just, yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Hopefully the meeting goes well for you. Jumping back to coach here, we're in the preseason. What all do you guys do to get ready for your season?
Well, March is always a tough month because it's the first month of the season. We only have one meet in March, and it's right at the end of the month. So March is a really big training. We talked about kind of that balance and having that base. So, but March is like really where you kind of build that foundation for the entire year, and you've got a long stretch of time where you can just train. So it's tough for the kids because it's some really, really hard workouts from one day to the next throughout the month. And there's really no reward for them at this point because they're not having any meets. So March is kind of a grind. And then once you get into the meets, though, in April, the season just flies by because you're doing 2 meets a week. So it's hard to, you're probably going to have like one really hard workout in between those 2 meets. And everything else is just kind of a little bit more kind of supplementing and getting the kids ready for those meets. So the actual workload drops quite a bit throughout April, and the competition increases significantly. And, of course, that's the fun part. So from April onwards, the season just flies.
Before we actually get into, your guys' meets and stuff and actual scoring and how that's going to be looking for you guys this year, let's go through how practice looks, especially with your guys' track and stadium being under construction. What's practice look like for you guys?
Well, our practice, we start out, it's kind of a traditional practice setting as far as we warm up as a team. But then from that point forward, it's quite different than other sports. And a lot of times people that aren't used to track, they kind of have a hard time kind of getting a sense of the decentralized nature of track because we have kids scattered all over the place. Like the distance kids, they're going to go out and run around town. The throwers are up on the practice football field doing their thing. We have kids over by pole vault, which is away from the track. Or have the sprinters on the track. Then within that group, where some kids will break off and be doing hurdles as well. So kind of as we talked about at the beginning, it's so important to have trustworthy people that are knowledgeable people that can work with all of those different groups and different locations. Because I or Coach Geiger, we can't be in the same place at one time. We're only one person, but the idea that you've got people and you got kids where they're supposed to be and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing is important because it's very decentralized. And it really, one thing with track is it teaches the idea of being responsible for your actions because you're not constantly under the thumb and the watch of the coach, with a whistle in hand, like, hey, you did that wrong, get back on the line or do this again or do that again. It's kind of a looser atmosphere where there's a lot more responsibility on just taking ownership of getting better, doing that extra rep, staying later and doing some blocks or other things like that because it is so decentralized.
Yeah, and there's a lot of responsibility on the kids to, behave, practice the way that they're supposed to practice, actually be efficient during the time, even if they're not under direct supervision from coach here. But have you ever had issues with kids not, wanting to practice during practice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that kind of maturity thing. Like, a lot of times when you're not around, you're not watching. I mean, they're gonna they're gonna skip out on reps or not be where they're supposed to be. Or a big favorite is laying when the weather gets nice is laying on the high jump pit. That's always a lot of kids are big offenders of that. They just go over and lay on the high jump pit, and you got to go over there and get them going. Like, hey, what are you guys supposed to be doing? Let's go. We're not laying around. Let's get to work.
Yeah, I would imagine, a little quick break if the coach ain't looking. That's right up my alley.
Yeah. You usually figure out who those kids are pretty quick, who to keep an eye on.
Well, a huge thank you to Caleb Smith and Nolan Bender for joining us here on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show. I wish you guys both luck on your senior season. We're going to have to take this break, and we'll be back with 2 new athletes in here to talk some more Fredericktown track and field here on WMVO.
Is brought to you by
Knox County Veteran Services, located at 105 East Chestnut Street, Mount Vernon. Stop in and see us today.
It's 732 and 30 degrees.
Whether it's your home, farm, auto, business, RV, or boat, Griffin Insurance has you covered. Located at 300 Coshocton Avenue in Mount Vernon, we've been protecting what matters most to Knox County for decades. Call 740-397-7488 today and experience the trusted local service you deserve. Griffin Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you know.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Can I touch this? Where does sand come from? Is this tree good for climbing? What happens if I mix these two things together? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Storing your guns securely is the best way to prevent family fire, including unintentional shootings. For more information on safe gun storage and ways to keep your family safe, visit endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org.
What do we keep in the attic? What's this thing called? Can I ride my bike backwards?
Like I said, kids are curious. It's up to us to keep them safe. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
When you're craving better ingredients and better pizza, Papa John's on Coshocton Avenue delivers. Locally owned by Bill Spitzer, Papa John's is feeding Mount Vernon fresh hot pizza, wings, and those irresistible garlic butter breadsticks. Order tonight from 855 Coshocton Avenue or call 740-397-6644. Carry out, delivery, or order ahead online. Papa John's, locally owned, big flavor, right here in Mount Vernon. 740-397-6644. That's Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Page One Group in beautiful Mount Vernon has your best interest in mind when it comes to you and your printing needs. Whether it's printing, design, laser engraving, or sublimation, there isn't a texture we can't print on. Promotional products are how you keep people coming back, and that's where we come in. Your business is our business. Page One Group, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Call 740-397-0262 and visit us on Scott Road.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves. It's not too late to purchase a pellet stove and get a free ton of pellets for the winter season. Harmon offers top-of-the-line pellet stoves like the infamous P68. Also, if you have a chimney and need a suite, we do that too. We use nothing but the best with Copperfield products like Home Saver, Rovac, and Duravent to allow your chimney to remain safe, clean, and durable. Stop by our showroom, Buckeye Stoves, on State Route 95 in Fredericktown. Visit us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
WMVO Weather Center forecast.
It's currently 32 degrees with a few clouds. The wind chill 24 degrees. The wind is from the east at 9 miles per hour. The forecast for this evening, cloudy with light wind with a chance of light snow. Temp 33 degrees. Overnight, cloud-filled skies with a light breeze, and we could see some light snow. Temperature 34. And then tomorrow, cloudy with some wind. Rain is likely. And the temp 45. That's Storm Track weather on the heart of Knox County, WMVO.
You're listening to the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show. Brought to you in part by Griffin Insurance, Buckeye Stoves, Page One Group, and Papa John's.
We are back here on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show, brought to you, of course, by our title sponsor, Griffin Insurance, as well as Buckeye Stoves, Papa John's of Mount Vernon, and Page One Group. With me still, Coach Will Hartley with Fredericktown Track and Field, and we have two new athletes in here with us. We have Anton Winger and Brady Kelly. Let's start with some introductions. One by one, tell me a bit about yourself, the grade you're in, and what event you run here.
So I'm Anton Winger. I'm a junior. I've been doing track for quite a while, since about 7th grade. I'm a middle distance runner. I specialize mostly in the 400 and the 800.
I am Brady Kelly. I'm a sophomore. I've done track since 7th grade, and I am a thrower.
Exciting. And let's jump back here to Coach before we get into some more questions for the athletes here. Let's start getting into, the meats and potatoes, but of your season here. What does a meat look like for you guys?
So, as I said, there's really two types of meats. So, the weekday meets, which are traditionally on Tuesday, those are usually quad meets, which means there's 4 teams. You have unlimited entries, so we can enter all of our kids. So, let's say we got 5 throwers. They can all be entered. All the kids can enter up to 4 events. Now, the throwers usually only do 2 events. Sometimes they might do their 2 events, which is shot and disc, and they might come over. Like sometimes Brady will come over and run a 100-meter dash or something, just or something to stay in shape and see what kind of time he can get. So once in a while, throws will do 3 meets. Sometimes what's really fun is the throws will put a relay team together. It's called a throwers relay, which that's always fun. A lot of times instead of a baton, they have a pizza box. So sometimes they'll do that. All of the runners, they can be in pretty much 4 events. Usually, most of the kids are running like 3 events. And again, these are like on those weekday meets. And then when we get to the invitationals, there's a lot more teams. There's, again, between like 10 and 15 teams at the invitationals. You can only enter your top 2 kids. If you're a real special athlete, you're running 3 or 4 events at those as well, especially if you're on a relay. Most of the kids probably that are going to those meets are running in 2 events per day.
And how long do they take? How long does a weekday meet take compared to an invitational where you have a lot more teams? Is it the same, or how long do kids have to wait between events that they're running with how much actually goes on at a meet? Yeah,
the invitationals are usually, so the Friday meets can go long into the evening. I mean, there's, late bus trips getting home from an like a Friday night invitational. You're getting home 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. The weekday meets, so those are always after school, and they're on a school night because they're either on a Monday or Tuesday, sometimes on a Wednesday. But what? I mean, you think those are probably getting done about like 7:30-ish.
Yeah, I'd say about 3 hours.
7:30. Now we have a rule which again is kind of unique to cross country and track, where the kids, if they're done with their events, as long as we've made contact with their parents, they're allowed to leave with their parents. So it kind of lessens the burden a little bit for parents, so they don't have to stay all the way until the end. And again, on those weeknight meets, the kids can kind of slide out of there when they get done, unless they're on the 4x4, which is traditionally the last race of the night, which Anson's always on the 4x4, so he doesn't get that luxury. But so I mean, that's another thing. Like I was talking about, how people sometimes that aren't familiar with track, they just kind of get tripped up on like how decentralized it is. It's the same thing, because like a football game, it starts at this point and it ends at this point. A basketball game, it starts at this point and ends at this point. A track meet, it's like you got to know what your kid's running, and basically like when roughly when that event is going to come up in the meet, because it's different for it depends how many kids are in the 100-meter dash as far as how long it takes to run all of the kids through the 100-meter dash. So the time is very flexible and it's very fluid.
Yeah, and when you guys are in between multiple events that you run, do you go and support the other athletes on your team, cheer them on, or just watch to kill time?
So that's like a huge part is, go recover, grab a snack, get prepped for your next meet. But, like we want to see guys on the sideline yelling for their team, because although the events are individual, there's still this team, this family aspect that we want to build up.
Brady, do you mirror that thought or anything different to add?
I mean, usually I just go to the concession stand, get some snacks, wait for my next event that I do. But sometimes I'll go down and cheer on like the sprinters and the distance runners, just to kill some time, like you said earlier.
Yeah, and, Coach, how big a deal is it for these kids to be supporting each other and making sure that everyone is motivated to run as hard as they can?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the special things about track is track's during the last season of the year, the spring season, and you've had kids that have been involved in team sports throughout. We got a lot of kids that are from cross country team. We got a lot of kids that are from the football team. We're gonna have a lot of kids that are from basketball, and then so a lot of times it's kids that maybe haven't necessarily competed with each other on the same team, and then it all kind of comes together in the spring. So it's cool to see that dynamic of a lot of different kids from a lot of different areas as far as the clubs and activities and extracurriculars throughout the school, and then being a part of that spring track team. And we do a pretty good job of supporting each other.
Yeah, and do you guys play any other sports throughout the year?
So I run cross country in the fall and indoor track in the winter.
I do football in the fall. And I'll do sometimes an indoor meet, like if a window's open, I'll go take it. But yeah, that's usually it.
All right. Well, enough to keep you guys active and involved in other stuff during the time that's not track season. So that sounds pretty fun. And Coach, if you could walk everyone through, anyone who's not familiar with track, hasn't really been at meets and stuff, how does scoring work for it? Is it primarily individual? Is it primarily the team? Or is it a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. So, generally speaking, let's talk about a relay meet, or excuse me, not a relay meet, but an invitational. Mm-hmm. You're going to score the top 8. So the first place is going to get 10 points. 8th place is going to get 1 point. The relays are scored the same. As I said, you can only run one relay team, so you can only run one team in the 4x8, and the 4x4, 4x2, and the 4x1. And then they score as a team. So if they get 4th place, they're going to get 5 points for the team. So you can win, like Anson could win in the 800, and he's going to, like in an invitational. Usually the invitationals, they have nice medals for the kids, especially if they're in top 3. So he would win the 800, he'd get a medal. He gets 10 points that would go towards his varsity letter as far as lettering for the team. And for himself as an individual, but 10 points also go to the team score. So you're scoring as an individual, but any of those points are also going to the team score. And then whoever has the most points at the end, just like anything else, that's your winner.
All right, that makes a lot of sense after spelling it out like that. Yeah. I appreciate it. And how does lettering work in track? What are the requirements? Are there a certain number of points kids need to make, or a certain amount of meets they need to run in?
It's all based on points, but so they have to score 10 points. Now that's just, I think every school, there's no universal formula, but our school has always been you got to score 10 points in order to letter. But you obviously got to be competing in the meets to score, so it's one and the same thing. Like especially like I talked about, like being a top 2 during the weekend meets. I mean, obviously, if you're in the top 2 and you're competing every weekend, you got a better shot of scoring 10 points to get your letter.
Yeah, and with your guys' season coming up here, are there any big meets that you guys are looking forward to? Any specific invitationals that you want the team to be really prepared for?
Yeah, so the Loudonville Invitational is always it's kind of right in the middle of the season. It's always a big meet. There's usually about 16 plus teams at that meet. So it's always a really good test. Like I said, it's kind of in the middle of the season. There's a lot of teams from the area, but then there's a lot of teams that you don't necessarily see from one week to the next. So a lot of new faces. So it's always cool to see where you're at as far as individuals and your relays at that meet. As I mentioned, our invitational, which is going to be at Highland, that'll be a different experience, but hopefully it kind of fills that void a little bit for the kids, especially those seniors, as they talk about they're going to miss out on a meet their senior year at home. And then our KMAC meet, so that's the league championship meet, which is going to be at Mount Gilead this year. It's just going to be interesting to see how the league plays out. We're normally right in the hunt. Mount Gilead's got a really good program. Northmore traditionally has a good program with the boys now, but they've lost quite a bit of talent from last year's squad, so it'll be interesting to see how they rebound this year.
Yeah, and for the athletes here, do you guys have a specific meet during the year that you guys really look forward to? Akin to how every football season, East Knox and Danville like playing each other. Any rivalries here you guys like getting into?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily like a rivalry, like, beat this team, but I would say like the Freddie invite is definitely huge for me. Like wanting to show up at our big home invitational and just show, like Fredericktown, we're here to compete. We're here to show that we have what it takes. And so I train hard. I think we all train hard a lot, looking for, May 1st this year, that Friday night under the lights. It's always a good meet. It's a good experience.
Yeah, and for you, Brady? I
usually like the invitational meets sort of like Loudonville, Mount Gilead, because it's always some school you're going against different. New competition, not going against the same teams as you always would in KMAC, or that would usually be there.
Yeah, makes sense. Want to get the variety of who you're racing against. So we're going to go ahead, take our last break of the show, come back, talk some more, and wrap things up here with Fredericktown Track and Field on the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show on WMVO.
Whether it's your home, farm, auto, business, RV, or boat, Griffin Insurance has you covered. Located at 300 Coshocton Avenue in Mount Vernon, we've been protecting what matters most to Knox County for decades. Call 740-397-7488 today and experience the trusted local service you deserve. Griffin Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you know.
Wendy's has a new Girl Scout Thin Mints Frosty Fusion with Girl Scout Thin Mints cookie pieces, rich creamy frosty, and a mint chocolate cookie sauce. Which means Girl Scout Thin Mints and Wendy's Frosty, yeah, they're basically best friends now. It's like two delicious desserts just high-fived, snapped a few too many friendship selfies, and then rode a tandem bike down a never-ending road of mint chocolate frosty perfection. So, swing by Wendy's and try the new Thin Mints Frosty Fusion.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly with nationwide 5G because Cricket is on the AT&T network. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
When you're craving better ingredients and better pizza, Papa John's on Coshocton Avenue delivers. Locally owned by Bill Spitzer, Papa John's is feeding Mount Vernon fresh hot pizza, wings, and those irresistible garlic butter breadsticks. Order tonight from 855 Coshocton Avenue or call 740-397-6644. Carry out, delivery, or order ahead online. Papa John's, locally owned, big flavor, right here in Mount Vernon. 740-397-6644. That's Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
To every referee, umpire, and judge in high school sports, we want to say, we see you.
We see everything you do for us that goes unnoticed.
We see the positive role models that you are.
We see the way you get unfairly criticized just for doing your job.
The truth is, we couldn't play without you.
So thank you for investing your time in us.
Thank you for protecting the integrity of the game, no matter what.
We hope you always know how much we appreciate you.
Because without you, this is just recess. It's not really a game.
Thank you for always making it possible for us to play the sports we love.
Want to serve the students in your community? Sign up to become an official in Ohio at highschoolofficials.com.
Page One Group in beautiful Mount Vernon has your best interest in mind when it comes to you and your printing needs. Whether it's printing, design, laser engraving, or sublimation, there isn't a texture we can't print on. Promotional products are how you keep people coming back, and that's where we come in. Your business is our business. Page One Group, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Call 740-397-0262 and visit us on Scott Road.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves. It's not too late to purchase a pellet stove and get a free ton of pellets for the winter season. Harmon offers top-of-the-line pellet stoves like the infamous P68. Also, if you have a chimney and need a suite, we do that too. We use nothing but the best with Copperfield products like Home Saver, Rovac, and Duravent to allow your chimney to remain safe, clean, and durable. Stop by our showroom, Buckeye Stoves, on State Route 95 in Fredericktown. Visit us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
Every single day, thousands of distressed cats are sitting alone in shelter cages, forced to endure the intense fear and loneliness of abandonment as well as the risk of being euthanized. At Golden Paw Society, we are dedicated to the rescue of shelter cats and giving them all they need to be adopted into their forever homes. To find out more about our life-saving mission, go to goldenpawsociety.org. That's goldenpawsociety.org. Sponsored by Golden Paw Society.
You're listening to the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show, brought to you in part by Griffin Insurance, Buckeye Stoves, Page One Group, and Papa John's.
We are back here for the final segment of the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show, brought to you, of course, by our title sponsor, Griffin Insurance, Papa John's of Mount Vernon, Buckeye Stoves, and Page One Group. With me still, Coach Will Hartley and Anthony Winger here, and Brady Kelly. And, let's continue talking with our athletes here. What do you guys do to get yourself in the right state of mind to get amped up properly before you actually run your events?
So for me, I like to imagine myself in the event. Like, close my eyes, really put myself there. But another big thing is just just taking a second to calm down. Like realizing we love track, we love running, but it's not the world, and that really just, it gets those nerves down. It gets you in the right state of mind. And you can just go in there and do your thing.
And you, Brady?
I usually listen to music before I throw because without music, you can't really.
I get it. Music's a great way to get yourself in exactly the right mindset you want to be in. Just listen to the right genre. What music do you normally listen to get yourself pumped up?
I usually listen to 90s, 2000s rock, mainly grunge, like Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots.
Pretty good picks there, gotta say. Pretty good taste. Coach, how important is it for your athletes to be ready to roll before it's time to actually start running?
Oh, it's really important. As Anson said, just that kind of that mindset and visualizing yourself and having success in whatever event it is. Like Brady's event, it's a lot of timing. So just being like mentally sharp and knowing where my feet are supposed to be, where my arms are, kind of that visualization and that being able to conceptualize your movements is really important. There's a lot of like really high technique events like pole vault, for example, which takes a tremendous amount of visualization. In the sprints, that start, if you have one false start, you're disqualified. So it's really key that you're focusing on the start. You're not making mistakes there. All the handoffs and the sprint relays are really important. That can make or break a race. So focus is really important. Track and field it's not a rah-rah sport. There's not these great passionate pregame speeches that are so important in other sports, but it's definitely something where you've got to be tuned in and you really got to be focused if you're going to be successful.
Yeah, and we're coming out of basketball season here where we've had a crazy winter. We've had game cancellations, rescheduling, stuff getting pushed back, and now we're preparing for, the great flood here with all the rain we're about to get. How does the weather affect track and field? Your practices, do you have to cancel, push back, delay, reschedule? And then does weather ever get so bad during spring that you guys have to change times for meets?
Yeah, I mean, we're like any sport, any outdoor sport, weather always kind of dictates things as far as, if we have thunder, lightning, we gotta make sure that we got the half-hour delay and all those, and many times during the spring you can get indefinite storms that continue throughout an entire afternoon, and that a lot of times they're going to cancel the meet as a result, or you're going to have to make it up at some time. So we're definitely at the mercy of the weather. There's nothing greater than being at a track meet when the sun is out and it's 65, 70 degrees, and there's nothing more frustrating than being at a track meet when it's 35 and raining, or there's sleet, or you got a wind going sideways. So yeah, we're definitely at the mercy of the weather. You pray for good weather, because good weather means you can have a good season.
And below the high school level, middle school, or even getting down to elementary, what all does Fredericktown offer in terms of track and field?
Like I kind of talked about with the high school staff, we're very fortunate. We're very blessed because we have very knowledgeable coaches, and we got a lot of coaches, not just our full-time staff, but a lot of volunteers that step up and they're very, very good at what they do. They're very passionate about what they do as well. So that can be said for our junior high staff. We got a really good junior high staff. They're in it for all the right reasons. Our numbers are usually pretty strong in middle school. But I think this year we're probably around like 50 kids, boys and girls, in middle school. So we've got a pretty good pipeline and a pretty good thing going with the track program.
Yeah, with that, it seems like you have a great way to constantly be recruiting and then training up new people to start running their freshman year here for you guys. About how many new athletes do you see join their freshman year each year?
I'd say about between 10 and 12, maybe. Yeah. I mean, if I look at it this year, I think we got like maybe 9 freshmen. I'd say the girls are about the same. So overall, between the boys and girls, about 20 kids. And another thing I'll say is we do a really nice job, like all of the coaches, as far as the coaches from the different sports, being on the same page as far as sharing athletes. And, people want to see the coaches that we have at Freddie High. They want to see multi-sport kids. They want them doing 2 or 3 sports, and they, they're not hogging them saying, "Oh, well, you need to be at an open gym, or you need to be in the weight room, 8 months out of the year," type of thing. Like, go out and compete and do other things, because that's going to make you a better athlete.
And then even younger than that, does Fredericktown do any sort of like field day for middle or elementary schoolers to get them interested in these sports, to get them outside? And then do your athletes do any help during that?
Well, I don't think our athletes do any help with the running club. Anson might be able to answer that, but we got a nice running club that they run. I believe they run in the mornings, don't they? Yeah. I think they run in the mornings, like before school, maybe, or maybe during the first 45 minutes of school or something. So it's really active with the elementary. And they actually, what we've done at our junior high invitational, which is a relay meet, we've actually incorporated a couple of the little kid runs, just kind of, we call them fun. They're just fun runs, basically. And they have a couple runs for the the elementary boys and girls, and I think we put a relay team together for them as well. So kind of gets them involved in just one of the meets. But that's they've got pretty good numbers in the elementary.
Well, great. That's actually all the time we have here for the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show. Big thank you to Brady Kelly, Anton Winger, and of course, Coach Will Hartley, who made it incredibly easy to fill this hour. We weren't expecting to have you on for 2 slots, but you made it work, and we appreciate you for that here. That is all for the Griffin Insurance Monday Night Sports Talk Show here on WMVO.